In this video, you will be shown how to categorize your payment transactions into different expense accounts. You can also automate many of these transactions by setting bank rules. To start, access downloaded transactions by clicking on Banking here on the menu. QuickBooks displays every one of your financial transactions with your connected bank or credit card. Each one of these lines represents a different instance in which you have spent money or received money into your bank or your credit card account. By clicking on a transaction, we can find out some more details. Here, we can see the bank detail. This is the information that's sent to us from the bank, usually detailing who it is that we spent money with and also when the transaction occurred. From here, you can choose from your list of suppliers and customers, or you can add a new entry to categorize this transaction. If they are already a supplier, select them here. You will notice that as we choose this supplier, the payee for both this transaction and also other transactions from this supplier will be updated. This transaction may show up as an uncategorized expense. For the purposes of your profit and loss, it's better to include more detail about the transaction. Click the drop-down arrow, and from here you can choose between all of the different accounts on your chart of accounts, whether the expense be for business or personal. You can also create a rule from this transaction by clicking here. More on setting rules in a moment. By clicking Add, the transaction will be added into QuickBooks, and we can look it up just like any other transaction under the Reviewed tab. Also, QuickBooks memorizes all of the settings on the added transaction and applies those settings to the next transaction from that supplier as well. However, you can still override those defaults by choosing a different expense account if you need to for other specific transactions. There may be times when you need to exclude transactions for review. To do this, from the main banking screen, select the checkboxes next to those transactions you wish to exclude. Next, click on Batch Actions and select Exclude Selected. You can view and undo these exclusions of transactions at any stage under the Excluded tab. Bank rules automate the categorization of the transactions on the bank feed, including assignment of the transaction type, category, payee, class, and location. They can also be used to split transactions automatically. Rules can also be prioritized over other rules, copied, edited, and exported, and then imported for use in other QuickBooks Online company files. And you can also create bank rules to add transactions to the register automatically. To create a rule for your bank account transactions, first go to the menu, choose Banking, and then from the sub-menu, Rules. Then select New Rule. First, let's give the rule a name. Let's call this rule Fuel. You also have to choose whether it's for money in or money out. Choose the bank or credit card account from which the money going out is coming. You might select one bank account or all bank accounts. All bank accounts in this context include credit card accounts. Next, set the filters to tell QuickBooks Online what to look for in future banking transactions, whether it meets all or any of the following conditions. The options from the drop-down here include bank text, description, or amount. You can choose the bank text relationship, whether it matches exactly, contains the string you specified, or doesn't contain the string you specified for each of those criteria. You can also add extra lines here if required. Moving down, you can select the transaction type of either expense, check, or transfer. There are also fields for the payee, category, and the tax code. A handy feature is the ability to split the transaction by percentage or amount. The default is 2 lines, but more can be added. You can enter a memo if you choose. But remember, this will be used on all future transactions from the supplier, so don't be too specific. Once you have filled in the details, click Save. Let's go back into the banking screen to see what it looks like when QuickBooks Online applies the rule. In the Review tab, we have several purchases from a supplier that this rule has been applied. You'll see that QuickBooks Online automatically categorized this expense with the appropriate tax code and applied a QuickBooks Online green label in the category column indicating that a rule was applied. This makes accepting the transaction a breeze. To add the rest as reviewed in bulk, check the box next to each transaction. Click on Batch Actions, and then click on Accept Selected. Those with the automatic box checked in their rules will not appear here. They'll already be in the register, and you can also view them in the Review tab. So anytime you spend money with an electronic funds transfer, debit card, or credit card, you can download it directly from a bank or credit card, categorize it, and set rules where appropriate. That's it. Now get started.